Are these people right to call the UN a failure? What is the purpose of the UN anyway?
The UN was founded to end war.
This is Vijay Prashad, a renowned historian and author, and he knows a lot about the UN. After World War II, the major powers wanted to stop violent conflicts from happening again. They wanted to improve dialogue and cooperation between countries. Well, looks like that hasn't gone too well. That has a lot to do with how the UN is structured. Every one of the 193 countries has a seat at the General Assembly, but this is the Security Council. And these 5 permanent members have complete control: the US, Russia, China, France, and the United Kingdom. What is the distribution of power like at the UN?
188 countries in the United Nations don't really have power in the system. It's the countries with a veto in the Security Council, 5 countries, the so-called P5, that dominate everything. So what's the distribution of power? 5 has 100% of the power, 188 almost 0% of the power.
So how does the makeup of the UN today, in terms of its member states, differ from its founding?
At 1945, most of the world was not yet free from colonialism. And even though, for instance, India was a member, it was a member as British India. In the 1960s, a swath of African countries attained their independence.
This is the world in 1945, and these are the original member states at the UN's founding. Fast forward to today, its members now look like this. But guess what didn't change? Who gets to be the permanent 5? And the US especially plays a heavy hand in world conflicts.
The US is a fire starter. It starts a lot of conflicts. When the US started this campaign against Iran's so-called nuclear program, it was the UN that brokered that agreement between the Europeans, United States, and Iran. And then the US just walked away from it.
It was also thanks to this colonial-run power dynamic that the UN plan to partition Palestine passed back in 1947. Since then, the US has vetoed more than 50 different Security Council resolutions critical of Israel. And this gridlock occurs almost every time there's a resolution that threatens the agendas of any of the permanent 5 members. That's why it's so hard for the UN to actually accomplish much. Yes, to be fair, UN agencies like UNICEF and UNHCR do important work, but the imbalance of power means the General Assembly itself has become a little symbolic and often has a hard time making real change. More and more officials have been pushing the case for democratizing the UN. Some have called for African and Asian states to be given permanent seats on the Security Council, but Vijay says that's only the beginning to real change.
Democratization of the UN has become about increasing the P5 into maybe P8 or P10 rather than democratizing the whole system, including bringing a greater voice to the General Assembly.
Look, reforming the UN is a big task, but it may very well be worth it because the UN has the potential to be a lot more effective than it is.
193 countries, on behalf of almost 8 billion people, have a treaty obligation to the UN Charter. There is no other text that all the countries in the world have signed on to. I don't believe in just throwing this away.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught me this truth. And peace and blessings with all sincerity to the hopeful elect. It's Zakaria coming at you with another lesson. And Lord's willing, it be edifying. And a lot of news has been coming out over the last couple of days. And I want to touch on a couple things just to simplify what's going on and to show you guys how it pertains to biblical prophecy. Okay, so this first article is entitled, "What is Article 99 of the UN Charter, invoked for the first time in decades as Israel attacks Gaza?" UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said, "Nowhere is safe in Gaza. Why has he invoked Article 99, and could it impact the humanitarian situation on the ground?" We're going to scroll down to about right here. What is Article 99 of the UN Charter? The UN Charter is the founding document of the United Nations. Based on the powers conferred through it, the UN can take action on a wide variety of issues. The Charter is considered an international treaty, meaning UN member states are bound by it. However, in practice, there is little that member countries can be forced to do. Article 99 states, the Secretary General may bring to the attention of the Security Council any matter which, in his opinion, may threaten the maintenance of international peace and security. It is seen as a discretionary power. A 1945 report of the Preparatory Commission of the United Nations said of the article, the responsibility it confers upon the Secretary General will require the exercise of the highest qualities of political judgment, tact, and integrity. According to the UN, the President of the Security Council is under the obligation to call a meeting of the Council if the Secretary General brings to attention of the Council any matter under Article 99. Okay? So, the Secretary General, which I believe is this gentleman right here, called the Security Council together. Okay, he invoked Article 99 because he feels that the situation that's taking place in the state of Israel and Palestine has the potential to bring further war and chaos to the world unless it's stopped at this present time. Okay, so this was invoked, I believe, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Now, here's the second article from RT, which reads, U.S. blocks UN Gaza ceasefire appeal.
En contra.
Against.
Abstenciones.
Abstentions.
El resultado de la votación.
The result of the vote is as follows: 13 votes in favor, 1 against, 1 abstention.
El proyecto de.
The draft resolution has not been approved due to the veto of a permanent member of the Security Council.
The U.S. has cast a lone dissenting vote against a proposed UN Security Council resolution that would have demanded a humanitarian ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war amid rising civilian casualties in Gaza. 13 member states voted in favor of the resolution, which was put forward by the United Arab Emirates on Friday in New York. The UK abstained, leaving Washington diplomatically isolated and blocking the measures. What is the message we are sending Palestinians if we cannot unite behind a call to halt the relentless bombing of Gaza? Deputy UAE UN Ambassador Mohammed Abushanhab, Salaki, I butchered that, asked members of the council, indeed, what is the message we are sending civilians across the world who may find themselves in a similar situation? Yeah, that's easy. The message that you're sending them is that America and the state of Israel, their priorities matter over anything else. Right and wrong has no say in the matter. Just whatever America and the state of Israel wants, they get. That's the message that you're sending to the other nations. Okay, and the other nations are seeing this, and this is why ultimately these other nations are going to hate the whore. Okay, America, Babylon the Great. Continuing on, Friday's vote came after UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres invoked Article 99, a rarely used provision in the UN Charter, to warn the Security Council of an impending humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. He said that with the war raging on for 2 months and counting, the humanitarian support net in Gaza faces a severe risk of collapse. More than 1,700 Palestinians have been killed and 1.9 million people have been displaced since the war began in October. Hamas triggered the war by launching surprise attacks against villages in southern Israel on October 7th, killing an estimated 1,200 people and taking hundreds of hostages back to Gaza. U.S. officials have opposed a general ceasefire because it would only help Hamas retain its grip on power in Gaza. A week-long ceasefire last month enabled the release of 110 Hamas hostages in exchange for 240 Palestinians who had been incarcerated in Israeli jails. It also brought time for aid workers to bring more humanitarian supplies into the besieged Palestinian enclave. And ultimately, in 1 week, granted them, all the luxuries which they just explained. Okay, bringing in humanitarian aid, getting 110 hostages back, and so forth and so on. And for America, the United States, to veto the Security Council's what's the word I'm looking for? The Security Council's solution is ridiculous. Is asinine. Okay? But ultimately it's because they don't want peace. All right? These Israelis have a once in a lifetime opportunity with this war going on. They can cleanse that land of all the Palestinians and take that land for themselves. So they're basically justifying what they're doing, because they're never going to have an opportunity like this again. Because obviously this has gone too far. And America, Biden talks about a peaceful solution and yada, 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 but actions speak louder than words. Let me get a precept. This is Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And this is the MO of the so-called self-proclaimed white man, okay, who are biblically known as Edomites, the nation of Edom. Okay, how many treaties did they break with the Seminole Indians? How many treaties did they break in general? They speak with a forked tongue, all the while being sweet and pretending to be, humble and nice, but war's in their heart. War's in their heart. Continuing on, it says, the U.S. mission to the UN said in a statement that it opposed the ceasefire resolution because the Rush proposal was divorced from reality and would only plant the seed for the next war. Washington's suggestions for revising the resolution were largely ignored. You see? So they're like, let's revise it. Let's revise the resolution. Let's put our thinking caps on and come up with another resolution. They ignored it because they don't want peace. It says, Deputy UN Ambassador Robert Wood said, among other concerns, he added the document failed to include language condemning the Hamas attacks. All right. Women, children, the elderly, people from the range of nationalities, burned alive, gunned down, subject to obscene sexual violence, Wood said, "We are very disappointed that for the victims of these heinous acts, the resolution authorities offered not their condolences nor condemnation of their murderers. It's unfathomable." Okay? You know, he has the nerve to say that when when they've done the same, when they've murdered 17,000 plus civilians. And trust me, I believe that number is low. Okay? So, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This, you're seeing the true colors of this devil, these Edomites. No, they're not white, representing righteousness and pure. No, they're red. They're the red Hebrew Edomites. Okay? Because their skin, the blood shows forth through their skin. So they're pinkish reddish people, man, who falsely labeled themselves as white. But the Lord is lifting up that covering cast, man, and the truth is being exposed. All right, enough talking. Let me get some precepts, man. What do I want? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. And we know who this is speaking of. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They rape, rob, and murder everywhere they go. Under the guise of colonialism, you know, under the guise of white supremacy. But these Edomites, their soul is not upright in them, man. They can't do right. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the faith shall live by faith, by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, his philosophies and ideologies, his democracy, going throughout the four corners of the earth, spreading this nonsense. When your country, you're spreading all these philosophies that you push in your country, and your country is a piece of crap. America is a shell of itself. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. No, he don't keep at home. And just to prove that real quick, Salakia. This is how many active military bases are there in the world? 750 U.S. military bases. There are 750 U.S. military bases in at least 80 countries, though Al Jazeera says the number may be even higher, as not all data is published by the Pentagon. Neither keepeth at home, man. These Edomites don't keep at home. They in everybody else's country, minding everybody else's business but their own. It says, he is a proud man, and ain't nobody prouder than the so-called white man. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. Right, everywhere this devil go, he causes hell, mischief, and craft to prosper. And is as death, and cannot be satisfied. Right. These Amalekites, which are the nobles of the nation of Edom, the elites, they're not satisfied with the land of Jerusalem, okay, and Israel. So what are they doing? Pushing the Palestinians off their land so they can confiscate it. Esau can never be satisfied. It says, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him? All right. And the anger of these nations, seeing the true colors of America, Babylon the Great, is going to push them to that point. Okay, where they're talking shit behind America's back, making deals with these BRICS nations, calling them all type of names, making fun of their presidents like Saudi Arabia did. And Saudi Arabia bounced on America to go join the BRICS nations. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself in the thick clay. All right? That's what these devils do, man. They kill, steal, murder. Man, they this is all they know. It says, shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Yeah, you're gonna be a prey unto these nations. All these nations in the Security Council are looking at you sideways, man. And even before this, your allies have been looking at you sideways. You know, Turkey, all these nations are looking at you because you're moving out here crazy, man. There's no more wisdom in Timon, man. The decisions that the Lord has you making, you're making yourself look crazy in these streets. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, Salakia, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. And that's what's ultimately going to happen to you, man. These nations, okay, during the midst of the Third World War, are going to shoot nukes on America and destroy it in an hour. So we're watching the build up leading up to the climax in real time. Okay? It says, woe to him, woe meaning destruction, to him that covetous and evil covetousness to his house. Right. Unjust gains, man. Okay? Gains through the means of rape, robbery, and murder. It says that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And that's what these Israelis are doing, man. Trying to set their nest on high by displacing 2 million Palestinians to take their land in this once in a lifetime opportunity that they have. Okay? But it's just the truth of the matter. Esau, Edom is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Okay? He can't get right. Plain and simple. This is Psalms chapter 140 and from the top. It says, deliver me. It says a Psalm of David. Deliver me, O Lord Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Who is the evil and violent man? What nation of people have committed the most, caused the most death, the most rape, and stole the most since the inception of civilization? What people? Esau, Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. His biblical nationality are the Edomites. He is that evil man, that violent man. All right? It says, which imagine mischiefs in their hearts. Continually are they gathered together for war. Since America's existence, it's been in war more than peace times. You know what? You want to know why? Because of this. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, Okay, and this red horse is symbolic of Esau, Edom. Okay, like I told you, they labeled themselves white, but in actuality, they're reddish. They're pinkish reddish because their blood shows forth through its skin. Okay, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Right, his military. All right, you know the story of Esau and Jacob. Esau's blessing was the sword, and to have all the fattest, choicest places on the face of the earth, all the wealth. And how would he acquire that wealth? By the sword. America was the first nation to drop to make it rain fire from the heavens when they dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right. All these people know, man. It's how to kill, how to steal, how to take, and how to oppress the people. It says, which imagine mischief, Psalms 140:2, which imagine mischief in their heart continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Right. Because like it said in Psalms 55:21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All these Edomites do is know war, man. That's all they know. And there's not going to be any peace. You know, these other nations want to stop the wars from happening, but it's not going to be any peace. Because this is Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. And right now, Esau Edom is the basis of men, pertaining to Job. And the Lord has given him the reign, the dominion, okay, the number one empire, America, Babylon, and Great, for a time and a season. But this devil can't go past the bounds. So these wars are going to continue because the Lord wants them to continue. All right, till the climax happens in the midst of World War III, when these missiles are shot off from all the allies and enemies of America, and the whole continent of America is destroyed in 1 hour. Thus saith the Lord. This is the judgment for Esau Edom. Okay, and all you people, the heathen nations and 2/3 of the nation of Israel over here in America that get caught up in this judgment. Okay. So is there anything else I want? I think I pretty much got my point across. All right. So a lot of stuff is happening, and I don't want to about the Zah. I simplified it enough to catch you up, and you know, I don't want to about the Zah. 2024. We're gonna be out of here. Okay. Because we need to get out of here, man. The whole earth is mourning under the rulership of these base men, these Edomites, man. Matter of fact, this is Hosea 4:1, and it reads, "Hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, ye children of Israel, for the Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of the Most High in the land." Right, and this also pertaineth to Esau Edom today, man. Okay, because he is in the land, the holy land of Jerusalem. He is in the power seat. He has the number one empire, which casts this shadow over the entire earth. The ruling class. All right. So it says, "For the Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, because these Edomites are contrary to all the righteousness of the Heavenly Father, and all their wickedness and all their schemes, are done in secrecy. The Illuminati, these elites pride themselves in secrecy, but the Lord has shined light on them now for the world to see. All right. But there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. Right. Everywhere this devil goes. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fish of the sea also shall be taken away. Right. Animals beaching themselves. The scripture says even the fir trees are going to rejoice once Esau, Edom is taken out of power. Okay. So all these things must take effect and must be in play. Okay. But at the end of the day, this devil, this Edomite can't rule past the bounds that the Lord has allotted him. Okay. And his time is coming to an end. The hourglass is almost out of sand. All right. So Lord's willing, this was edifying. Shalom, Israel. Wa abad babal.